Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said $3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the turn thing. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said $3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge,
Welcome back to ATN Open Conversation. We'd like to quickly welcome our very own Chief Lucky Man, Egila. Good to have you here today.
Thank you very much, Vivian.
You're ready for open conversation?
Yeah, thanks.
All right, let's go. A High Court sitting in Isiokpo, Rivers State on Wednesday have issued interim order restraining the Rivers State House Assembly from proceeding with any impeachment of the state governor, Sir Siminalayi Fuwara. The judge, Justice O. Ben White, in his ruling held that it is hereby ordered that the parties in the case maintain the status quo in the case by the applicant as the governor of Rivers State, depending the application of the motion on notice. The case is hereby adjourned till the 14th of November 2023 for the arguments of the motion on notice. This latest court injunction in the unfolding of political drama in Rivers State began on Monday night when the bombing with the bombing of the State House of Assembly complex on the plot to remove the governor. The lawmakers' action is alleged to be at the instance of Fuwara's predecessor, Nyesom Wike, now the FCT minister. However, Wike on Wednesday refused all entreaties made to him with the aim of resolving the feud with his protege, despite the intervention of President Bola Tinubu and the People's Democratic Party Governors Forum. Well, Governor Fuwara, undeterred by the minister's belligerence, in a forum in Port Harcourt also alluded to the crisis and said it will be resolved, describing his relationship with Wike as that of a father and a son. We'll talk more on Wike's insistence on the show after now. But here is the very interesting bit in all of this conversation. I didn't even know Sim went to court. I had no idea. Now, this is basically former Governor Nyesom Wike's modus operandi. You go to the court, you take it from all corners. But a lot of people seem to be saying that he learned well from his master. I'd like to have you react to all of this now.
Well, Wike had very fine lawyers that were around him while he was governor of Rivers State. The likes of the former SSG, who is still the SSG of the state today. Tami Danagogo, who has a PhD in law.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Tami Danagogo is one of the advisors of Nyesom Wike. They were the people that were telling him, do this, do that, do this, and that. So he had good advisors. And Wike should not forget that these same advisors are still there because he handed over his entire machinery to Sim. So Sim actually learned from the best. And the best is still with Sim. So this battle...
Okay, not even from his Wike now.
Yes, he learned from the actions of Wike.
Okay.
And those that advised Wike to take those actions are still with Sim. So
and the chief of them all you think is the SSG, Dr. Tamidana Agogo?
Yes, and besides, the whole drama is taking a different tone in Rivers State for now. You know, a situation whereby you are the former governor, you're out of power, and you're compelling the state governor to do whatever you want him to do. It's terrible where a governor cannot even appoint, as they say, even a commissioner, he has to run back to you to take permission before he can do any appointment. You are not a governor again, but you are the one issuing contracts. And for Christ's sake, he did not hide it. When, with all these accusations, in one of his speeches, I'm talking about Wike now, he said he's not going to allow anybody to bring down his political structure. He was even bragging about how he bought forms for every one of the political office holders in Rivers State. So you can see that it's difficult. Wike wants to micromanage Rivers State from wherever he is. And it's a situation that no one will accept. We want him to stay off governance in Rivers State. He's a former governor. He's still a Rivers citizen. Yes, we understand. But for Christ's sake, trying to decide virtually everything that happens in Rivers State is preposterous. I think it's the height of democratic rascality in Rivers State.
We'll talk more on these allegations much later in the show because there was another unfolding yesterday.
All right, so let's look at it from here.
Okay.
To an extent, there's some proclivity towards all of this, like portraying greed, you know, because when one is through with an office and gets to be appointed in another office, it's expected that you focus on all that it takes and requires of you to actually execute, you know, what that office calls for. So having the FCT minister, you know, before this wasn't really clear. There were still speculations, and to some extent we needed to be very sure, you know, who was actually behind all of this. So now it's getting very clear. You know, is it right to see some signs of greed in all of this?
Of course, it's greed. The former governor of Rivers State has been greedy in virtually everything he has done, even while he was the governor of Rivers State. This was a man who called the ruling party cancer. And today, he's living with cancer. No, sincerely
how can you say that? No, see.
No, excuse me. The truth is,
no, Chief.
No. This was the same man that came on open air, on live television, and said, after my tenure, I am not going to control the person that's going to succeed me. I will stay off governance, and this is the same man that is trying to decide everything that happens in this state.
Chief, this is our former governor.
Of course, it's great.
You will continue with the, you and Bessel are talking about greed. But Chief, you cannot say our former governor is living with cancer.
No,
he's being logical.
For Christ's sake.
This is
no, he
said.
I
want him to explain that. I mean,
no. He said APC is cancer. PDP is malaria.
The man said he's serving Nigeria. Why do you say he's serving APC?
No. He is a minister of the Federal Republic in the working for the ruling party today.
And not Nigeria?
Well, I'm beginning to see him as serving himself.
Oh, sorry. Let's go ahead with the greed aspect of it. Sorry
of course,
about that.
That lets you know that he is actually greedy. Because for a man that has left office, who told us on live television, after my government, I will not interfere in the governance of Rivers State. I will allow my successor to rule the state the way he wants to rule the state. This is the same man that has come on air again to say that I am not going to allow you bring down my political structures. People are saying that I am asking for money. I'm asking for 2 billion. I'm asking for 25 billion. When I was buying the form for these people, where were they? I spent my money to buy the form. So because you bought form for these people, you want to decide whatever happens in the state. You bought the form, but Rivers people voted for Siminalayi as a governor. So you
Was he forced? Was he under any obligation to buy these forms?
I don't know. You wanted to buy form. And even purchasing those forms that cost millions and millions of naira, I begin to ask, where did you get such money to buy the form? You're a governor. How much is your salary for 8 years in office? How much was your salary as a governor for 8 years that you're buying forms for local government chairmen, you're buying form for assembly members, you're buying form for all the House rest members in the state, you're buying form for virtually everybody.
It was an investment for this day to come.
And you're bankrolling the entire campaign processes of Siminalayi coming to be. How much do you have?
Siminalayi was his prodigy. He was his godfather or mentor. I heard he took him as a young boy and started bringing him up and training him and all of that.
That's wrong.
That's not correct?
That's not correct.
Okay.
Siminalayi Fubara was actually an accountant, a civil servant working at Obiakpo from the time of Rotimi Amechi.
So he wasn't this governor,
no, he rose from the ranks. No, he rose. He worked with with Rotimi Amechi. As a matter of fact, a lot of persons believe that Siminalayi betrayed Amechi because when Amechi and Yesowike fell out, he was favored by Yesowike. So he came back to the limelight and has been working with them for Christ's sake. He has been a civil servant.
You mean it wasn't the former governor that employed him?
No.
Why he was a local government chairman?
No. Okay, even if you are the one that employed as a local government chairman, how? He's a state civil, so, okay, local government, he was not employed as a local government staff. He's a civil servant from the mainstream civil service in Rivers State. So, whether you employed him, okay, even if Yesowike was the one that employed him, let's assume he was the one that employed him, you employed him based on his credentials.
Okay, hold on.
Based on his qualifications.
Chief, hold on a bit, because this is getting somewhere. If Siminalayi Fubara has been working with former Governor Yesowike right from while he was the Obiakpo local government chairman, that's over. If I'm not, plus or minus, that's almost 20 years.
Yes.
So this man, Fubara, has a lot of information on him.
In one of his speeches, he said, "Don't forget."
Yeah,
I am the accountant general of. I was the accountant general of Rivers.
So should governor not operate?
Caution.
Not really caution now. Okay, maybe should he not tread with caution?
Now,
because that seemed to be a veiled threat.
I begin to even see things from a different perspective. Now, let me tell you something. Yesowike brought in Siminalayi Fubara, and throughout the campaigns, he didn't say a word. He was that obedient child.
He didn't?
Siminalayi, during the campaign,
he was at some
media houses wanted to interview him. It was difficult for anybody to grant him interviews. He did not speak to the press up until after the elections. That was when he began to speak to the press. Now, before the elections, EFCC tried to arrest Siminalayi on several occasions. They couldn't. He was being protected as at that time. Now, we all know
this EFCC thing, how authentic is it? It was a bit of a major rumor during the campaigns anyway, but how...
It wasn't a rumor. EFCC wanted to arrest Siminalayi Fubara before he became governor because they felt that he was a staff of the Rivers State government. But of course, there are also injunctions barring them from interrogating or arresting any Rivers public servant that has worked on anything that relating financial crimes in Rivers State. That injunction has not been pulled from the Supreme Court.
Okay.
So he was being protected by the state, and now, for him to continue getting that protection, to secure whatever they had done, Siminalayi Fubara has to be the governor of Rivers State so that he will have immunity.
These are all conversations around the media or social media or the gossip mill, if you may, but none of it really came to light because we didn't see an official statement from the EFCC saying, you surrender yourself, you need to be interrogated and all of that. But like I said, we'll have more on this Rivers conversation much later in the show. But quickly, let's get to talk some party politics now.
Okay.
So, New Nigeria People's Party reveals reasons why the party former national chairman, Professor Rufai Al-Khali, and other members left for the All Progressives Congress. In a statement by NNPP National Publicity Secretary Abdusalam Abdurrazak on Wednesday said, recalled that the role of Professor Ben Angwe and Senators Suleiman Othman Hunkuyi as signatories to the MOU between Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso and NNPP leading to the fusion of the Kwankwasia and TNM groups has been repeatedly revealed to the press. Note also that Al-Khali emerged as national chairman at the convention that commented the union on March 30th, 2022, but left the party and his position on March 30th, 2023 due to alleged high-handedness and irreconcilable differences with Kwankwaso on issues of democratic tendencies and lately the desire to take over fraudulently, a platform that he was benevolently given by a gentle old man to actualize his ambition of running for the presidency of Nigeria. He said Angwe is a signatory to the MOU who long ago withdrew his signature before the document itself expired after the 2023 election had allegedly complained of attempts to sell off his governorship ticket to in Benue State. He therefore developed cold feet, even though it affected his performance in the 2023 election despite the overwhelming love he enjoys from the good people of Benue State. He complained of high-handedness, imposition, refusal to listen to others, and several other reasons while serving the party. The irreconcilable differences extended to the period after emerging as the governorship candidate of NNPP in Kaduna State. While the campaign lasted, there was no noticeable contact or synergy with the governorship candidate due to the rift, which was very obvious. Part of the statement read, "Our job at this point is to wish them well in their stay in the new party. It is our hope that they would enjoy the true essence of internal democracy and openness, the reason why they left NNPP for their new party. It was truly our desire to have retained them under the new leadership of Dr. Abo Major, who is presently working very hard to restore internal democracy and constitutionally in the party's leadership. In the interim, we wish them well in their struggle to reinvent their country, Nigeria, the new political party," he expressed. To an extent, I would say one could see that there's no hard feelings here. People this cross carpeting and all that. It seems like there's no hard feelings here. But I leave that to you to actually have your take on this.
Well, in politics, it's only, like they say, no permanent enemies, it's only permanent interest. It's all about, today they are no longer at the helm of affairs in NNPP. They've moved on to another party to see how they can fuse themselves and become relevant and also be in one or two positions. It's all about getting political appointments and other things. The new leadership of NNPP might not be happy that they left. Because leaving a party, you're living with certain secrets in the party. You know the weaknesses and the strengths of that political party. And when people of this caliber leaves a political party and moves into another party, it's something, you're living with something very, very key. So it's painful. That's why all these reactions are actually out on public space. Else, if they were not, maybe if it was not the national chairman and some other key officers that left, it wouldn't make news. Of course, they would just let them go, no problem. But because these persons know how the party functions, they know how they reason, they know everything about the ideology of the party. It's now a difficult thing because they have to the party needs to reinvent itself, change its strategies, and begin to move on. If they don't, their secrets are already out there. How they want to play their cards and everything has been taken out to the opposition party. So that's the essence of all this. It's just all about political interest and everything.
I understand political interest and all that, but like basically that's what the spokesperson was saying. But here is the thing: are we going to get to a point in Nigeria where we begin to make a demand for politicians to have a clear-cut or defined ideology? Because what is all of this? These are like, I'm sure the NNPC has vision and a mission statement or what their guiding principles or what the reasons for why the party was formed. You agreed to, you were even a signatory. And now you even contested for a position in the party. how should we take such politicians who are not consistent in their ideology? So can we get to a point in this country where we begin to say, or make a demand, or find a way to get the National Assembly to get political parties to clearly define their ideology, so we really know what we're dealing with here?
Well, our democracy is still very, very young. And before the 2023 election, I felt that Nigeria was going somewhere. But with the current trend of court rulings and everything, I am also very, very scared for our democracy. Because it's becoming the highest bidder gets it all. That's where we are heading. But there's hope that things will change, definitely. Let's see how it goes. Before now, Nigerians were not really bothered about who becomes this or who becomes that. But today, Nigerians are asking questions. The appearance of or the fusion of the man called Peter Obi into Nigerian politics has actually opened the eyes of Nigerians to a great extent, because he has already touched certain key notes that we have ignored. That sleeping dragon in every human being has been awakened. Say, look, it's your right to do this. Nigerians are gradually beginning to speak up. If not that, we are being silenced gradually again by different court rulings, and Nigerians are saying, oh, we thought we were going somewhere. We thought we were going somewhere. We thought we were going somewhere. And of a truth, our politicians need to be very, very careful, because today nobody expected the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, to bounce, to react. Nigerians are already having it up here. We are choking. At a point in time, Nigerians will begin to react. And when we will begin to react, the reactions matters. It can be either peaceful or violent. And we pray that Nigerians don't react violently, because if we react violently, it will take us years back.
This
they will
prayer,
begin to rebuild from there.
The prayer you're making right now, you just said, Siminalayi Angel, the facts.
Talking about Siminalayi Fubara, going through his profile and his social media handles, and even this man is this sound. The man is just too good. The man has a lot up there.
Are you serious?
Very quiet, but yeah, the guy is good.
Are you being serious? I know you're an opposition party boss.
No, I am. Last night for 3-4 hours, I was just going through his social media profiles. What did former governor actually say in Siminalayi? Why did he bring him? Is he that good? Can he deliver? Does he have the qualities to deliver? This man that did not talk during the campaigns. Okay, let me go through his profile. And I went through certain things. And there are areas where he has spoken, and I listened to his speeches, and I was like, oh, so this man has something upstairs.
So we can say the former governor made the right choice for our states then?
No. Siminalayi Fubara is the right choice for Rivers State, just as every other people that came out and contested were also right for Rivers State.
His weakest choice for Rivers State for governorship wasn't wrong in terms of intellectual acumen, like you have just pointed out.
Yes.
Okay.
The man
academic qualification and what have you.
Yes, and one thing I know for now, that Siminalayi Fubara, let's do what we want to do and move on. But for now, he's not corrupted to that extent. And we are insisting that this man should be allowed to work so that he will not be corrupted, at least for the first 4 years, before he will begin to go into mainstream politics in the next elections and begin to play politics, and a little corruption will now come in. We know that, yes, this man has done something for us. We have achieved. But Siminalayi Fubara is good. Sincerely speaking, the man is good.
All right. Now that the governor of Rivers State is being portrayed as a right choice, even though Chief Igile may not agree completely because he's in opposition, but if he's saying that Fubara is good, Fubara is good, and that's it. So the weakest choice wasn't bad at all.
Being an opposition does not mean that when you see a golden egg, you're going to begin to say, oh, this is not gold, this is silver. No, we don't do that. The kind of politics we
Did you see the silver maize that was used to swear Edison in?
Yeah, I saw. It's them politics. This is
so it doesn't matter. It's maize is maize. Who is the speaker right now?
Well,
Chief, why are you laughing like that?
Well, the court has said return to status quo. So Martins remains the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, but unfortunately the Assembly does not have anywhere to sit. So we have a moribund Assembly for now in River State.
That's sad.
So that's just it. They can't sit.
The
Assembly complex is burnt. And the place where they went and sat and issued the impeachment notice was not even at the Assembly complex. So it's also null and void, because I doubt if there are provisions, although I'm not a lawyer, if there are provisions that says that the River State Assembly can sit in somebody's bedroom and issue such notice. I doubt.
We'll figure that out as the day goes by. But the people, let's talk about those states. The People's Democratic Party Board of Trustees representing South-South Geopolitical Zone, Charles Idahosa, says Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki lacks the power to halt Philip Shaibu's governorship ambitions. Idahosa said, I was disappointed when the rift became public. I was also taken aback by some of the comments of the leaders in Edo State. The major problem we have is weak leadership, he said. What we see here is that people are afraid of telling the truth to power. Idahosa said, the governor has no right to tell the deputy governor the limit of his political ambition. Obaseki didn't need to fight Shaibu. The fight was totally uncalled for. What he should have done is to sell his candidate to the leaders of the party, who will in turn work for that candidate instead of allowing the issue to degenerate. He said the way deputy governors are being treated in the country, the position will no longer be appealing. After serving as a deputy governor, the next step is to aspire to the position of the governor. So Shaibu has not done anything wrong. When it comes to politics, we need somebody who understands the terrain and who is part and parcel of the people. You don't go and bring somebody who doesn't know us. This time, we need somebody who is part and parcel of us. It also went on to say, he has also spoken on the division within the PDP, where he said, I just pray the PDP puts its house in order before the state 2024 election. That is, okay, so this whole Shaibu or Obaseki issue, ab initio, I have always questioned, what is wrong in Shaibu having an ambition to become a governor? I've had several analysts come on the show tell us that he is not supposed to do that without talking to the governor. He's serving the governor and not this, and all kinds of interpretation. So, like the host Obaseki is saying, right? I'm asking you, what was wrong in Shaibu desiring or aspiring to become the governor of Edo State? He doesn't have the capacity, or he shouldn't do that because that will make him equal to Obaseki. What do you think is wrong with that move?
Yeah, you see, one thing in Nigeria, something is terribly wrong with our politicians. Some might call it greed. Of course, greed is the right word. That spirit of godfatherism is always there. After all, Tinubu did it in Lagos. Yes, Wike has done it in River State. Why can't I do it? I want to replicate this. I want to become the godfather of Edo State politics. This was the same man who had issues with his predecessor, Adams Oshiomhole, and everybody was saying, Adams, you are wrong. I also fought this in Adam because of all those issues. We all stood to say, no, Adams Oshiomhole, you are wrong. You cannot be dictating what happens in Edo State. You are no longer a governor. You're out, you're out. Let the people decide who they want. We fought him in the party. He left and went to PDP, got ticket. Now, even in PDP, he's trying to do, when it gets to his own term, Obaseki is serving his last tenure as a governor. Now he wants to dictate to the good people of Edo State who should become the next governor. He wants to decide. For Christ's sake, he has no right to decide, to talk about the ambition of his deputy. His deputy is a man of his own, who is to an extent very, very popular and loved by the grassroots. He's a grassroots politician. So Obaseki is scared that should he bring anybody, Shaibu will floor that person hands down. So the only thing to do is to begin to gag him, begin to, attack him from now, make him uncomfortable, stiffen his finances and everything so that he will not have the resources to come and fight when it comes to that time.
Okay, a quick question here before my colleague is itching to come in. A quick question here. In the game of power, especially in politics, people even plant candidates in other parties, sponsor them as well. Like taking it from a 3 or 4 prong approach, ensure that once one of his a protege or whatever emerges as a governor. In this game of tussle for power in Edo State right now, couldn't Obaseki have even left it open to say, okay, what is it that makes him lose faith in Shuaibu to the point that you don't believe that even him being a governor, that he is also going to have your back? Is there any issue that have transpired between them before now?
Okay, Obaseki was a member of the ruling party today. And, he had issues with Madam Soshomole and he left PDP. We welcomed him. They gave him the deputy that he's running with now, Shuaibu.
PDP?
Yes.
Okay.
So, he wants his own now. He's a governor. He does not want to work with the template of the party. He's the leader of the party, of course. He wants to decide everything. And, you know, just as they stated that they have weak leadership, when someone is a governor or is in the position of trust, and every penny you get comes from that person. The person dictates what you say or how you react. So the leadership of the party in Edo State is with the governor. That was why he was able to kick Shuaibu out of government house. So because they cannot say this is it and that is it, it's just like that. But come 2024, when Shuaibu is going to buy his form, when he's going to pick up his form, it will be so rough that some of these people that are standing with the governor today will begin to say, what if Shuaibu wins? Should they all just abandon this person that Obaseki is bringing? How good is that person? Will that person work with us? So the political calculations and permutations will begin to be different. So I think Obaseki should be very, very careful of whatever he's doing. He's also fighting for his political future. PDP is not the ruling party in Nigeria today, so the moment his tenure ends, EFCC might begin to chase him. He also needs the government that will stand for him and to protect him also. He needs that protection. So he wants someone that can say, okay, I am with you.
Right.
To give him that relevance. That's just why he's doing all these things.
Right. Thank you. Let's look at the next conversation. We have the publicity secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Anambra State, Uloka Chibuike, says Governor Soludo has performed poorly since he became governor nearly 2 years ago. The party spokesperson in a statement on Wednesday said it has been nearly 24 months since the people of Anambra State turned out in large numbers to elect Soludo as the executive governor. His reputation as a professor, renowned economist, and former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria gave him an edge over all the candidates in the November 2021 election. With his promise-filled manifesto, the expectations were high. However, 24 months later, the suffering, pains, and struggles of the people of Anambra State have only increased, leaving the state in comatoseness. As Soludo's tenure reaches the 2-year mark in a few months, his administration cannot point to a single significant project that has been completed to alleviate the plight of the people of Anambra. Instead, it has been a series of disappointments with no tangible progress to show. He added that since Soludo became governor, the roads in Anambra have become almost impassable, making it difficult for small-scale business owners and traders to access their places of business. He said it is high time for Soludo to consider resigning as the state is suffering spiritually, emotionally, physically, and economically. His incompetence and unfulfilled promises have led to tragedies like those experienced by poor traders who can't use the road to access their place of business. His administration has caused irreparable damage to the state, resulting in poverty and inflicting mental, emotional, and physical torture on the people. Since taking office, Soludo has organized multiple fundraising programs among Anambra stakeholders and imposed oppressive taxes on small and medium-sized enterprises and businesses, leading to high revenue collection. However, these revenues have not translated into relief for the people or meaningful development. This is a serious hands. This one is not one finger. These are hands seriously pointing at the government. You know, I actually remember Professor Soludo. I was personally very proud of him when he was the central bank governor. You know, sometimes it looks like when people have had some kind of pedigree that actually speaks for them, you know, and you repose confidence on that and bring them to actually still do something in that same light, it begins to look like it's a trend. If care is not taken, it looks like the person disappoints. I don't know if it's actually different from what is happening to Soludo now and the Anambrarians.
I am not surprised that Soludo is failing.
You're not?
No, I am not.
Wow.
Soludo did well as a central bank governor, and he's a renowned economist and everything. That does not translate to me that he's going to be a fine governor.
Okay.
Now, governance is all about those that knows the in and out of the state, those that has the state at heart, to say, look, my people are suffering. I need to do this for them. It's not in everyone. It's not everybody that has that mindset to say, oh, I want to help my people. I want to alleviate. I want to bring out my people from poverty. Now, coming from his background, the belief was that Soludo was going to do well. And trust me, I felt, okay, let's give, but this young man has not been in politics before. While he was CBN governor, what were the reforms that he brought to bear? We begin to look at all this, okay, let's give him a try and see. But Anambra State is very, very backward as of today. I was in the state about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And he is very, very correct. There is no meaningful development. There is no project that you can point to say, oh, this is an ongoing project that has been completed, or this or that.
So you don't think this is PDP playing politics?
No. There is a political undertone to everything that they say, but facing reality, the man is not performing as expected.
Do you perchance think maybe he's distracted?
I don't think he's distracted. Yes.
You think he's just the competence is lacking?
Yes. Look, all of them are distracted. Look at Alex Otti that just got into power of recent. In a couple of months, Alex Otti has transformed Aba itself. All the internal routes linking to the Aba international market, that area market, has been fixed. Traders are hailing him every day. He's trying to fix the remaining part of this Aba expressway that leads to Aba, so that traders can get their goods into their shops easily. For Christ's sake, the sit-at-home that they have that takes place in all the eastern states affect Abia State also. So Soludo giving an excuse often that it's because of the Biafran agitation, this is that, it's been, they're trying to kill him. All this, they are just flimsy excuses that he has been given. I expect him to get his ass to work. Soludo should sit up and say, I want to develop Anambra State. Yes, this is what I am here to do.
Or resign.
And begin to work. Or just get out of office and let someone else that is that has the guts come and sit down there and they have the masses. You can't be imposing taxes on businesses that are suffering. These businesses most often are locked. Their shops are locked for days because of sit-at-home and other things. Then you come and impose taxes and you say they should pay more taxes.
All right. We will know that people don't resign in Nigeria. Come back to you after the break.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
We will condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the temple of justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. The POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I'm always.
Welcome back to ATN Open Conversation. We are at the last lap of the show today. Now, let's get to Kogi State. In a press conference on Wednesday, the activist in Abuja, leader of the activists and co-convener lawyers and activists for good governance, Comrade Mohammed Sani, the SDP said the SDP candidate is the only candidate that has had a running battle with every police commissioner posted to Kogi State and should be thoroughly investigated. Comrade Sani said, we consider as unfortunate and irresponsible the press release authored by Social Democratic Party a few days ago, which amounted to blackmailing the police and the Department of State Services for carrying out their constitutional assignment of providing security for politicians and the electorate alike. In the said press release, the SDP claimed to have passed a vote of no confidence in the leadership of the police and DSS in the state and called for their removal. The party alleged that the security agencies were planning to arrest some of their people. If those people have committed crimes worth investigating, why would they not be invited or arrested as the case warrants? Now, SDP Ajaka and he's running battle with security agencies is becoming somewhat of an embarrassment.
Yeah.
You cannot continue, I mean, these are activists here, but you cannot continue making accusations that you cannot substantiate. Now, these groups are saying, pick him up, investigate him. This is how far it has gotten to right now. However, why do you think he's always attacking the security agencies and making accusations against them, even though the court mandated them to ensure that he's protected?
Now, I have this belief that when a child is crying and pointing his finger somewhere, something is actually up. In virtually every state, we know that the governor of that state is the chief security officer of the state, and both the commissioners and directors of DSS, although not directors, but mostly the